thickness of the glass for the retics, and they just hold up really, really well with moisture and everything. I just love his enclosures. So I'm going to pick up one because, you know, although I believe that tubs are perfectly fine to start off with baby reticulated pythons, I don't believe that once that reticulated python is 4 months or more, or particularly once it gets to, I'll say 5 feet or more, should still be in a enclosure of a tub of any size. So what I typically do is, like now, I'm going to specifically pick up one enclosure for the Golden Child Cow Reticulated Python. She's actually about a month overdue for her upgrade. And again, I just take them straight from the tub to the 8-footer. So I picked that perfect size. Never had an issue with them coming off food. Never had an issue with them being defensive. You guys seen some of my other videos where, you know, you see that I actually show you transitioning them into that, and you see me take them out next few days. You see them feed, you know, I feed them. I just never had that issue. So it works for me, and it's worked consistently for me. So I find it 5 feet or about between 4 to 7 months old is the perfect time for me to transition them into an 8-footer. That's just, you know, what works for me. And it's not having them in a tub longer than they need to be. Retics like to climb. Retics like to move around. I have cameras on each one of them, and to see how active each one of them are differently. And
watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Just being in tune with your animals and knowing what's best for them. So as I go up here and I ordered the one enclosure a few weeks ago. He doesn't take too long in lead time for me. He doesn't bill for a lot of people, but for his clients that he bills consistently for, his lead time is always pretty good. So with that being said, I also will be picking up a second enclosure, and what I do with that second one is that I have between the new berm and the youngest, well, not the youngest, the next to the youngest retic, they'll eventually, in the next couple months, need to be in a enclosure, and I'll already have it. I'll already have the heat panel set up. I'll already have the LEDs in there. I'll already have it positioned where I'm going to have it in the home. So, yeah. So, again, we're on our way to just pick up a couple new enclosures, 8-footers for one retic, and the next one who needs to be bumped up, whether it's a retic or the baby berm. All right, guys, so we're back from picking up the enclosures from EvoWrap. And pretty cool. One of the things I'm transitioning in this room that I'm in now is that the boas who were in 4x2x2s are being upgraded in the next couple weeks to 6x2x2s. So EvoWrap will be finishing them up. And then once that is finished, it's going to give me more space to stack more 8-footers in here. So I will set the 2 new 8-footers up in this room as well. And I'm going to take 2 of the ball pythons and the corn snakes, and they're going to go into the 4x2x2s. Why am I putting the corn snake in the 4x2x2s? Those of you who own corn snakes, although they are bearers, they're also climbers. So I'm going to make sure that when I put the corn snake in the 4x2x2, that I give it a whole lot of coverage of climbing opportunities. And the cool thing about the PVC is that it can climb and not escape, because you know they're escape artists too. So looking forward to that. Definitely upgrades to my other room, which is my breeding room, which is back there. So I got 2 more breeding racks coming. Like I said, I love Reptile Basics. I, for right now, don't have any desire for an ARS or a Freedom Breeder, just because unless they build them in all black. And if that happens, that'll be different. Then I'll be willing to pay for it. But right now, Reptile Basics makes it in my color scheme of black. I would like to stick to that. So I would be definitely sticking with Reptile Basics as long as I can. Or like I said, and unless I start to purchase from like Sea Circus or somewhere like that that also provides black, but not just the Freedom Breeder and the ARS. I love seeing them in person. They are definitely massive. I like the structure of them. It just doesn't go with my color scheme. And like I said, the reptile basis works great with their thermostat, with the Vivarium thermostat for me. So the point to what I was talking about in the first clip is that keeping retics in tubs too long. So I know a lot of people don't understand this about reticulated pythons, because most people go from ball pythons to reticulated pythons, or some other type of snake to reticulated pythons. But the strength of reticulated python combined with the intellect of a reticulated python, it's apparent that you give them into a PVC enclosure as soon as possible. Reticulated pythons are even smart enough to escape flaws in a PVC enclosure. So two major concerns that I have about keeping them in the tub too long. None of them have to do with us. It's everything to do with the snake itself. Reticulated pythons, when they don't have enough space, will do all they can to find a place where to escape. And when doing that, they can mess up their face, their mouths, their nose. If you ever seen a reticulated python really pushing to get out, you'll see their vibration in their body. And it just doesn't look comfortable or anything that I want to see my snakes go through, especially if they push a little too hard and break something in their spine. So with that being said, the other part is that reticulated pythons do love to climb. So when I see people saying that my reticulated python keeps getting out of my tub, it will. That's simple. It's time for a PVC, something a little bit more durable, something that gives it better husbandry at that particular point, because your reticulated python is aging quickly. It's not pacing. So I always say the day that you say that you're going to get a reticulated python is the day that you should be ordering that forever enclosure. Or like for me, even some of my 8-footers may not be the forever enclosure, but it's a long time enclosure for most of my retics anyway. So that's the thought process you should have to have. If you cannot afford the enclosure, don't get the retic. Some people will mumble on the price of durable enclosures. For me, it's not a question. You're paying, just think of paying for a home for that very powerful apex predator, opposed to buying a home for a snake. Think of it that way. You want that animal that you invested in to be secure, and God forbid we don't need animals escaping, getting out to the public. We know what kind of mess that creates. So that's it. I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I'll do more videos over the next few weeks, and I'm trying to keep more kind of balance between my ball python breeding and my reticulated python education, because I know a lot of my followers like that. So I will definitely keep producing those for you. I will definitely show the upgrade to this room once all the new enclosures come in. After those come in, I honestly will only have one or two more, because I don't even think the dwarf might even require the space based on how the size it is as a baby compared to my other babies, for sure. But I will have 1 or 2 final enclosures to get going forward for the remaining of the larger growing animals. And that would be it. And that will be pretty much it for all of the enclosures for my reticulated pythons that are pets, and my ball pythons that are pets. And moving on to just continue to focus on my breeding room, adding more racks to there, continuously adding more snakes. My husband don't know it, but I ordered the anthrax snake yesterday. So it's a inchy anthrax, VP Xantic. Oh. Wait a minute, guys. So, no, my shirt is not on backwards. I decided to rock Big D's tee that he gave us intently in reverse, because Big D was slacking on the back, and we didn't want to have that, right? So I'm rocking it on the front. So for those of you who looking hard and you might see a tag, I know. All right, peace.